1973, one of my favorite albums. Well, it's the stuff I really like that I actually still have in my collection from 1973. Now, 73, of course, was We Rebuilt Steve Austin, the $6 million man. That was 1973. How much would he cost now? $6 billion? And of course, there was Who Loves You Baby, Kojak. That came out in 73, so that's kind of neat. But here's some things. So there's the Battle of the Sexes that happened there with Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. 73 was still, now I was really entering my stage in life where I had money to buy 45s, not records. Some of these records I did get from 73 when eventually I joined Columbia Record Club. But some of those big hits, well, some I did like Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree, kind of a Vietnam War run, right? Hated that one. It was on the radio constantly, at least on AM radio. Every time you turned it on, Tie a Yellow Ribbon with Tony Orlando and Dawn. Oof. Then there was, this is the big one in high school, Smoking in the Boys' Room. Yep, that was huge, huge. People loved that. Edgar Winter put out Frankenstein, which blew me away when I finally heard that one. Dueling Banjos came out, made banjos really good, and brought in the old phrase, squeal like a pig. So that was exciting. OJ's came up, all aboard, Love Train. Love Train. And then there was Vicki Lawrence, from the Carol Burnett show. She finally got a hit, The Nights the Light Went Out in Georgia. Hey, good for Vicki. Doobie Brothers hit it big with Long Train Running. That was pretty cool. One of my all-time favorite singles was Louie, 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 by interracial, marriage or whatever, by the Stories. Man, I like that song. Todd Rundgren, hello, it's me. It's been a while. That was a fantastic song, too. I think Burt Reynolds posed for Cosmopolitan Nude that year, too. Another huge one, and I had this 45, I memorized the lyrics. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. Really a dark song, though. Boom, 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 from Terry Jacks. Man. So, big 45s were huge for me. By the way, I'm wearing a baseball jersey just to celebrate the fact that we don't have baseball yet. So, what the hell. But let's look at the albums. I don't have the cover for this anymore. Eventually, I'll get one. And Brian Eno's Here Come the Warm Jets. I, found this many, many years later. I listened to that for the first time. Really liked it. Another one that almost made my top 10 with Toots and the Mayhaw, Funky Kingston. I just got this last year on Record Store Day. This is your entryway into reggae. Anybody that's not into reggae, buy this one and you'll get it. It has Pressure Drop on here, which by far you're going to know. Funky Kingston's on here, Louie Louie. What a wonderful gateway to reggae. And the other one that just missed it, got edged out, the New York Dolls came out with this one. And this is, they're self-titled, the New York Dolls. Glam, but punk. And, really, suddenly things were really changing in New York. And this really began making it happen. So, the New York Dolls, showing what can be done. And obviously, a lot of people going, what the hell? Or, wow, this is pretty cool. God, some guys just don't wear makeup well, though. So, top 10. I think the first one for me, Bob Marley and the Wailers came out with this one, Catch a Fire. On here you have Stir It Up, Little Darling. And Baby, we've got Date, Rocket Baby, Concrete Jungle's on here. I just, what a wonderful Bob Marley album. I mean, he had so many great ones, but this was one that always caught my attention. I thought Stir It Up was a beautiful, beautiful sounding song. And so, important album. Again, didn't hear this till many years later. When I grew up, knew nothing of reggae. I just, I know Eric Clapton came up with I Shot the Sheriff. Hell, I know he did it. Number 9 is David Bowie, Aladdin Sane, and this, there we go. Again, we're showing this whole androgynous thing going on, the whole glam stuff happening. On here, you had Panic in Detroit, which I really, really like. Genie is on here, and Aladdin Sane. I think kind of the key tracks on this album. Drop that. You know, my first Bowie was Bowie's Greatest Hits. That's how I learned Bowie, and still my favorite Bowie, Bowie's Greatest Hits, Volume 1. But really, this is a very good album, one that I still enjoy. Number 8. What a great album this one is. They're not gatefolds. I'm not taking them out of the plastic because I'm just too freaking lazy. The Spinners. This is the first Spinners. And to me, it's probably, if you have this Spinner, you got the most important one. Yeah, their greatest hits again is awesome, but it has I'll Be Around, Could It Be I'm Falling in Love, One of a Kind Love Affair, One of a Kind Love Affair. Man, that's so good. You Can't Get You Out of My Mind. This thing, it just shows, you know, Detroit, man. They were throwing out some good stuff. I think these guys were from Flint. I saw them live actually in Flint a few years ago for a car show thing that they had, and really enjoyed it. Of course, they're quite a bit older. I'm sure a lot of different people on here, but I've always liked the Spinners a lot, and they just had some great hits. Best Spinners album, in my opinion, at number 8. Number 7. Man, this thing. Oh, such good songs. And if I can get it out of its sleeve here, there we go. Tres Hombres from ZZ Top. Wow. Wow. Doesn't that look delicious? That's the first time I ever saw Mexican food. There it is. Mexican food. Actually, probably not. I probably went to a Mexican restaurant the time I knew about this. Again, I didn't know about it in 73. But on here, Waiting for the Bus, Jesus Just Left Chicago, Beer Drinkers, Hellraisers, LaGrange. Oh my God, you know, best little song about a whorehouse ever. LaGrange, wow. Hold Me, Move Me On Down the Line. I think it's the best ZZ Top album ever. This by far is my favorite. And you know, someone was nice enough to send this to me after the flood. You know, I bought all these nice reissues of colored vinyl and everything, and anyway, life's a bitch. But what a great ZZ Top. Number 6. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Elton John's Greatest Hits was the very first Elton John album I ever had. It's my favorite Elton John album, but this was excellent. Now, I learned about this. I knew the hits because I had Greatest Hits, but in college, there was 2 guys on my floor in the dorm, and they were on the other end that I like to haunt with heavier sounding music. But they loved Elton John, especially one of them just loved Elton John. And he says, you got to listen to this. And it was Funeral for a Friend. And I was blown away by Funeral for a Friend. That was a magnificent song. I loved it. But you have Benny and the Jets are on here. One of my all-time favorite Elton John. And my favorite, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. It has, obviously, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Candle in the Wind, that never was a big deal for me. But there's so much good stuff. This album really, it is the one Elton John, besides Greatest Hits, this is the one I need to have. This is the one. I don't need to have anything else but that one. Because it's very cohesive. It's all put together and a lot of great stuff. Number 5. This will never make anybody else's probably. Chicago 6. This made an impression. It was the very first Chicago album I ever owned. My brother came home from college and said, listen to this. And I ordered it from Columbia House. Of course, the poster went on my wall, so I would look cool. And this just was the most amazing album to me. I played it so much over and over and over. I just couldn't get enough of it. It had on here Critics' Choice, Just You and Me, Jenny, What's This World Coming To, Something the City Changes People, Hollywood, Feeling Stronger Every Day. Oh man, this for me was the last great Chicago album. 7 on up, it really began to go. I mean, they wanted commercial success, and that's going to turn into ballads, and they began to lose the jazzy funk. Even on here, they were losing it. But it was such a great, incredible album, well put together. Songs made sense. Everything was good on this album. I loved it so much. And I loved it so much that, again, it's one of those that I will reach for and play over and over again. It has a cool textured cover too. What a wonderful album. Number 4, coming in hot and heavy at number 4, Stevie Wonder Innervisions. This could have easily have been number 1, but I have some other ones that put it out. This goes with Talking Book as my favorite Stevie Wonder album of all time. This had Too High, Living for the City, and when I heard Living for the City, it was like, being in a rural town, you hear this Living for the City and the vocal part. I forget, what's that? Why are they talking? It's like, what's going on? And then about, these people setting up this guy and he gets arrested and put in jail. It was very political, and it was just something that was kind of foreign to me. Just so good. Higher Grounds on here. He's Mr. Know-It-All. Don't you worry about a thing. Top notch. Wow. 73, 72 and 73. Stevie Wonder could do no wrong. And he had good albums as he went up. But this one and Talking Book were the very first two, Columbia Record Club, that I brought in and listened to. And it made the biggest impression upon me. And that's what's, when you're young like that and you get something like that, it makes that impression. It's in your brain for the rest of your life, and the good memories that you have. Some of these other ones I heard many years later. I can't tell you the lyrics on those, but I can on these because they meant that much. I didn't have that many albums, so you just kept playing them over and over. Put them on the spindle, let it drop down. All right, let's go into number 4, I believe. Number 3, actually. Number 3. I don't know. Maybe I lost count. Who knows? Iggy Pop. There we go. Raw Power. And that's my original Raw Power. Whew, man, this is the third Iggy. And then they kind of blew up after this. Search and Destroy is on here. And it just doesn't get better than Search and Destroy. This, to me, was the real, this got people interested. This is really where punk began to happen. Oh my God, Gimme Danger, Penetration, Raw Power, Shake Appeal, just incredible. Again, getting that glam look, but this was punk at its best, coming out very angry. The band was playing. Of course, by now they're starting to get drugged up, and so at times they get sloppy, but they knew what they were doing. A really good album. Number 2. Learned about this many years later, which is a shame, because but there's no way this ever made AM radio or even made it to the state of Nebraska. Betty Davis. Man. This is one of the greatest funk albums ever. It is funky, it's dirty, it's sweaty, it reeks of funk. It is so good. Her voice, she growls, she prowls. Her concerts were amazing. She had so much energy. She was just incredible. There's the whole being married to Miles Davis and getting him going. But the fact is, she went out on her own, but she was too much. No radio station could really play her stuff. How are we going to handle her? She was like too hot to handle. Oh my God. Amazing what she was doing. This is one of the greatest funk albums ever. And I mean, I just never tire of putting this thing on. I mean, Betty Davis was, she only had a few albums, but wow, smoking. And the number one, I mean, there's just no doubt. Pink Floyd. This is just incredible. Dark Side of the Moon. This was, again, my brother comes back from college, and he says, you know what? You got to get this. You got to listen to this album. So I went and I bought the album because he wasn't going to buy it. And when I put that on, and the very first Speak to Me, and then Breathe, but then came On the Run. And On the Run was the most eye-opening thing. When you heard this spaceship, it was a spaceship. That's a spaceship. It's going from speaker to speaker, you know, and the sounds that were coming from this, and then it crashes, and then it goes into the ticking clocks and the alarm clocks that scared the bejesus out of you. This was so freaking amazing. The putting in the different parts of people talking. My God, brain damage. I mean, that is just one of my, just the lunatic is on the grass. The lunatic is on the grass. You know, what is, Jesus. Remembering games and daisy chains and laughs. Got to keep the loonies off the path. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. This blew my freaking mind. And to this day, it's one of the most incredible albums when I think about things of just, what is this? Making a statement, making me sit in my jaw dropping and go, I've never heard anything like this before in my life. Didn't know a thing about Pink Floyd until probably 76, when my brother came back from his first year of college. Says, you got to get this and listen to it. Cheapskate, but you know what? That's the way he was. And it's okay. I got a good record collection from some of this. Number one from 73. One of my absolute all-time favorite albums still. I mean, just, God bless it. So there we go, 1973. Yeah, what a year. It was a year of 45s. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't have that many albums from there anymore. I used to have more, but there were a lot of one-hit wonders. Kind of same with 74. Not a ton of albums. But then the punk explosion starts to come, and by 76, man, hey, my world's really rocking. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have yourself a great week, and we'll see you Sunday, all right? Bye.